Everyone thinks the Vatican operates solely on faith. They're catastrophically wrong. The year was 1982. A chilling discovery under Blackfriars Bridge in London would expose a conspiracy stretching from the opulent halls of the Vatican to the clandestine world of international finance, involving billions in lost funds and the undeniable stench of murder. Roberto Calvi, known ominously as God's banker, was found hanging. His pockets were stuffed with cash and bricks, a macabre message. Calvi wasn't just any banker. He was the chairman of Banco Ambrosiano, a financial institution with deep, intertwined ties to the Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion. The immediate verdict was suicide, but the circumstances screamed otherwise. Why would a man intent on ending his life go to such elaborate lengths, carrying weight to ensure he sank, yet choosing a public, high-profile bridge? The story begins earlier, with the rise of Calvi and Banco Ambrosiano. Calvi, a shrewd but ruthless financier, had cultivated powerful connections, leveraging the Vatican's trust and its unique position in global finance to expand his empire. The Vatican Bank itself, established in 1942, held a special status. It wasn't subject to the same rigorous oversight as other banks, operating largely in secrecy, ostensibly to manage funds for religious works and Catholic charities. This autonomy, however, made it a prime target for exploitation. Under Calvi's direction, Banco Ambrosiano began a series of highly questionable loans and investments, often channeled through a complex web of shell companies based in tax havens like Panama and the Bahamas. Many of these companies were secretly owned or controlled by the Vatican Bank itself. The purpose of these intricate transactions wasn't entirely clear, but allegations soon emerged. Funds were purportedly siphoned off, used for everything from political bribes in Italy to financing anti-communist movements in Latin America, blurring the lines between faith, finance, and covert operations. Key figures emerged in this unfolding drama. Archbishop Paul Marcinkus, the American head of the Vatican Bank, was a central player, a man with a reputation for sharp business acumen and an even sharper temper. He was Calvi's direct conduit to the Holy See. Another shadowy figure was Michele Sindona, a Sicilian financier with known ties to the mafia. Sindona had previously been involved in his own banking scandals, and his connections offered a glimpse into the darker forces at play within the Italian financial world. By the early 1980s, the house of cards began to crumble. Banco Ambrosiano found itself facing a monumental debt, estimated at around $1.3 billion. Regulators started asking uncomfortable questions, and Calvi was caught in the crosshairs. In 1981, Calvi was arrested in Italy for currency violations and sentenced to 4 years in prison, though he was released on bail pending appeal. He knew too much, and the walls were closing in. He became increasingly desperate, sending letters hinting at threats and blackmail. Days before his death, Calvi fled Italy, first to Switzerland, then to London, using a false passport. He was a man on the run, hunted not just by authorities, but by those whose secrets he held. His final hours remained shrouded in mystery. The discovery of Calvi's body ignited a firestorm. The Italian and British authorities launched investigations, but the Vatican invoked its sovereign immunity, making it incredibly difficult to obtain crucial information. This diplomatic shield only fueled suspicions. The official cause of death remained suicide for years, despite mounting evidence and the Calvi family's relentless pursuit of justice. They commissioned independent forensic reports, which consistently pointed towards murder, citing inconsistencies in the initial findings. Over 2 decades later, in 2005, 5 individuals, including a prominent mafia boss, were indicted for Calvi's murder. Though they were eventually acquitted due to insufficient evidence, the indictments themselves confirmed what many had long suspected. Calvi was silenced. The Vatican Bank eventually agreed to make a goodwill payment of over $250 million to the creditors of Banco Ambrosiano, without admitting any legal responsibility. It was a tacit acknowledgement of their entanglement, a financial olive branch in a sea of scandal. The legacy of the Vatican bank scandal is immense. It exposed the vulnerabilities of an opaque financial system, the perilous intersection of power, money, and faith, and the deadly consequences for those who threaten to expose uncomfortable truths. Calvi's death remains officially unsolved, a cold case that continues to echo through the corridors of power. The millions lost, the lives destroyed, and the shadowy figures who pulled the strings form a narrative far more intricate than any fictional thriller. Uncover another historical conspiracy where power and secrecy collided.